Well, hello everyone. Thank you for joining our Thursday lectures. My name is Katerina Alexandruk. I'm the outreach coordinator for Education USA in Ukraine. And as you know, by tradition, we invite different universities and colleges to present on different topics. And today we will speak about the studying engineering at graduate level in the US. And I know that the engineering stays one of the most favorite academic field for international students. I think many of you will be interested to hear our guest speakers today, and I'm pleased to introduce our guest speaker, Gabrielle Gannon, the Director of Graduate Admission at Fu Foundation School of Engineering and Applied Science at Columbia University. And before I give the floor to Gabrielle, I just want to remind that we will have time for your questions at the end of the webinar. Feel free to leave them in the chat box and we will get back to them at the end of the presentation. Gabrielle, this is your turn.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here and to speak with you all. I'm really excited. Excuse me. I'm going to bring up my presentation now. And please feel free to type your questions in the chat as you have them. I will try to keep an eye on that as I speak, so that way I can answer everything and make sure that you're getting the information that you need. Here we go. So this is me. I am Gabrielle Gannon, and I am our Director of Graduate Admissions. And I am happy to answer your questions and to help you as we navigate the admissions process. If anyone would like to, say in the chat what you're interested in studying, that will help me. Are you interested in a master's degree, or are you interested in a doctoral degree? Are you interested in computer science, or electrical engineering, or financial engineering? We have a number of programs. I'm not going to name them all, but if you already know something that you're interested in, please let me know. It'll help me give you more specific information. So I'm going to tell you briefly about Columbia University. Now, we have a very long history, and so I'm not going to go all the way back in time. I think it's better to tell you just a little bit, and then what I'd like to do is tell you about our history and why this is relevant to modern day, and how we're constantly growing and expanding on this history. Columbia University was founded in 1754, originally as King's College. Now, if any of you have ever had the chance to study American history, you may know that this is older than the United States. We are the 5th oldest institution of higher education in the United States, and we're the oldest in our state, New York State. And so we are older than the United States of America. After the Revolutionary War, we obviously did not want to be associated with the king anymore, so we became Columbia University. In 1897, we moved to our current campus, but we're not done expanding. We're not done, really rethinking our space. We're currently expanding with a beautiful 17-acre campus. We call it the Manhattanville campus. It makes it sound like it's farther away. It's really just a 9-block walk, which is really like a 10-minute walk from our current campus. It's just a few blocks north. And that's where we have a new science center, and it's a really beautiful space.
Gabrielle,
yes.
We don't see presentation. Do you?
Oh, no, I thought that I was sharing my screen this whole time. I'm so sorry.
Thank
you see it now, yes?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought this whole time that you were seeing that. And let me just make sure that I can still see you. Okay, so you're seeing my screen, right? Okay. Here we go. So you didn't miss too much, luckily. This was my prior slide. And now here we are. So the School of Engineering. So in 1754, like I said, Columbia University was founded. In 1864, the School of Mines was founded, and that was the School of Engineering. And that, ever since then, we have been dedicated to the study of applied sciences and engineering. And we've really done a lot in that time that we're very, very proud of. I'm not going to, I don't necessarily have time to tell you about every invention and everything that has come out of the school since then, but I do like to point out a few things just for you to keep in mind, and then I like to circle back to them. So I'm sure many of you have heard of the company IBM, and Herman Hollerith, who graduated from the School of Mines at the time in the 1800s, actually founded what would become IBM. And you might be wondering, why is she telling us about this graduate from the 1800s? I just ask you to put a pin in that and to just keep IBM in mind. We're going to come back to that. And if any of you have ever been to New York City, or you see a movie based in New York City, you see the New York City subway system. And the original chief engineer of the New York City subway system was William B. Parsons. And we have this long history with the subway system that we still have. Just last year, there was a big issue with the subway, and they were going to have to shut it down in one area for a very long time. And that is actually Dean Boyce's expertise, our dean, Dean Mary Boyce. And so she started speaking with the transit authority, and they were able to, because of her, avoid shutting down the system. And they featured her in all the local newspapers and television shows because she really was able to engineer a much better way to solve this problem without shutting down the subway system for basically a year. We are also, one of our graduates, Elmer Garden, was responsible for the mass production of antibiotics. And this is something that is still very near and dear to us. One of our current professors, Sam Sia, has been instrumental in working on the production of the rapid testing for COVID-19. It's something that he's been involved in, since February, and they've been rolling it out to try to increase the time it will, to decrease the time it will take to get a rapid COVID-19 test result. So those kind of inventions and that work is very important to us. Now, we've identified these 5 core areas where we feel we have the best chance for impact in society. Now, for those of you who are engineers, which I'm going to guess most of you are, you know that engineering is not just in the classroom. It's not just in the laboratory. It's really in everything that we do, and every aspect of our life is impacted by engineering. I wouldn't be able to speak with you today if it weren't for engineering. I'm coming to you live from Jersey City, which is just across the water from New York City. I'm home in Jersey City, and you are throughout the Ukraine. I know some of you are in Kiev, and I'm sure probably maybe not all of you are in Kiev, but we're able to communicate and connect because of engineers. So the School of Engineering has identified these 5 areas: sustainability, health, security, connectivity, and creativity, and thought about how we as a school can have the greatest impact. These are some of the areas that we focus our research in: artificial intelligence, data science, sensing, imaging, visualization. These are some of the areas that are very important to us. It's not an exhaustive list, but we think that it's a robust list of what we, where we really try to focus our energy. Here we go. Sorry about that. We believe this vision of that engineering for humanity, combined with the technical rigor of our program and our location in New York City and the many opportunities we provide for research, entrepreneurship, and design, make for a very unique educational experience that gives Columbia engineers an advantage as they build their careers or seek further educational experience. So we've organized our strengths around these centers that are dedicated to the fastest growing sectors in technology and research. So if you remember from the beginning of my presentation, I mentioned IBM and that Herman Hollerith, who graduated in the 1800s, and you might have been wondering, why is she telling me about a graduate from the 1800s? Well, it still has relevance to today, because today we have the Columbia IBM Center for Blockchain and Data Transparency. Blockchain technology has taken off so much in recent years, and it's something that we're really involved in. And I think that this just goes to show you that we have this very long and illustrious history, but we're constantly building on that and innovating and moving into the future, moving into what's next. Another center that does that is the Center for Financial Technology, Artificial Intelligence, and Business Analytics. You hear these three terms all the time: fintech, AI, analytics, and that's what the center is really focused on. We also have the Columbia Electrochemical Energy Center for batteries and energy storage. We're a national test bed for wireless technology. They've been working on 5G technology in a 1 square mile right around our campus. And we've also have a center dedicated to intelligent asset management that studies core problems in finance. It focuses on behavioral finance, machine learning, data science, and modern portfolio theory. We also have these established institutes and centers that are hubs for pan-disciplinary research. I don't know if anyone here is interested in our Master of Science in Data Science, but if so, you would be working with the Data Science Institute. We're going to take a moment to look at the chat and see if any questions came in. I'll type my message. I haven't seen any messages come in, so if I've missed them, please make sure to put them in there so that I can be sure to be addressing all of your questions. So one of the great things that comes with a graduate degree is that you are entering this community, this network of really highly skilled, highly intelligent, highly successful people. It includes your faculty, it includes your peer students, as well as alumni. And so I'm going to talk a little bit briefly about our faculty. We have more than 220 faculty throughout our departments affiliated with the centers I spoke about earlier, and they provide a great resource for students interested in these areas of research. It's truly an exceptional roster of leading experts in their respective fields. As you can see, they've won numerous awards. I don't have time to go through all of them, but they really are the top of their industry for what they do. In addition, you're joining the ranks of these very successful alumni. I'm sure many of you know Boeing, the airplane company, Bloomberg, the Walt Disney Company. You might not know Face++, but I bet it knows you. Face++ is facial recognition software. And I'm sure many of you know the company Alibaba. And at this company Alibaba, at their headquarters, they don't have individuals scan ID cards. They just have their faces scanned, and that is from this Face++ software. And it's the leading facial recognition software out there. And the student Yi Qian developed this company while he was on campus as a student in one of our startup labs. Here are a few others of our successful alumni, and a few more. I like on this slide to talk about astronaut Michael Massimino. He was an alum actually from our industrial engineering department. He went on to MIT where he got his doctoral degree. And then he went on to NASA where he went out to space. He sent the first tweet in space. And if any of you watch The Big Bang Theory, you might recognize him as he has frequently been on the show and he's been working with the creators to create his own show. So in addition to all of this, he is also a professor. We're very, very proud of him. And if you happen to study mechanical engineering, then you would be lucky to have astronaut Mike as a teacher. Here are a few of our other alumni, including a few Nobel Prize winners, as well as these individuals here. Something that we're very proud of at Columbia University is that we have the most number of Nobel Prize winners of any institution. So I think it really speaks to the research that we're doing on campus, in the laboratory, and how we're supporting our alumni after they graduate. I think that this just speaks to how we are able to really create a very successful environment for our students on campus. So we really try to create leaders, and we try to do that by giving our students, really renowned research opportunities, global opportunities, internship opportunities, and really create a innovative type of education. We've been doing this for a very long time. We did this long before we had to do this. Of course, like many of you know, and I'm sure experienced yourselves, in the United States in March, we had to shut down. But Columbia University never shut down. We moved online, and we were able to do this seamlessly because we were already set up to do so. We already have we have the #1 online engineering degree, and while you might not be interested in getting an online degree, which I understand, we have that infrastructure, we have that technology in place, which was able to ensure that our students did not miss anything, that everything moved online immediately. And we spent the summer figuring out how can we safely get students back on campus. Everyone's safety is the first concern, of course. Student safety, faculty safety, staff safety. How can we keep everyone safe but get students on campus? Because we understand how important it is to be face-to-face and to meet with your faculty and to meet with your colleagues. And so we've been able to do that. We've been able to do that through our hybrid, high-flex model of education, where students are rotating their time in the class, they're spread out, and they spend some time on, logging in from home, but then they also spend some time on campus. And we're really proud that we've been able to do that. We've been able to do it safely. And I think, that really speaks to the culture of design, innovation, and entrepreneurship that we have at the school, and the countless opportunities we have for our students to conduct research across all different fields. Our student body is incredibly diverse. We have students from all over the world, something that we're very, very proud of. And we really work to support our students throughout all of our graduate programs. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about the many graduate programs that we offer. Unfortunately, I don't have endless time to go through every single program and tell you unique stats about every program. So instead, I'm just going to briefly run through the programs, and then I can always supply you with more information or put you in touch with the people who you should connect with. So our Industrial Engineering and Operations Research Department is made up of 5 programs, and it's different ways to apply engineering in a business setting. Financial engineering is looking at how we look at quantitative ways to improve the financial sector. Business analytics is managing big data, specifically, again, for the business sector. We have operations research, management science and engineering. The management science and engineering really prepares students to go into consulting jobs. And in the management science program, students are automatically put into, they do 3 big capstone projects where they work with real employers, real companies, and help them solve data problems. And so you almost get like 3 internships immediately in the program because you're working on these large projects. And we also have our industrial engineering program. We have electrical engineering. We have computer science, of course. Then we also have computer engineering, which is a program that involves both electrical engineering and computer science. We have our civil engineering and engineering mechanics programs. Chemical engineering, mechanical engineering. We have our applied physics and applied mathematics department, which includes applied physics, applied mathematics, as well as material science and medical physics. We have biomedical engineering, which is very important right now. Well, it's always important, but they are very busy at the moment. We have our earth and environmental engineering program, as well as our data science program. I also like to point out that we have these joint programs. I included them on the earlier slides, but business analytics and management science are both in partnership with the Columbia Business School. The data science is a program that is in partnership with computer science, IUR, and statistics. We also have a dual MS program that offers you dual MS degrees in computer science and journalism. And we're working on launching this brand new program, Innovation, Design, and Entrepreneurship, which will be, again, in partnership with the business school. Something that I always enjoy talking about that I think really puts the School of Engineering above and beyond is what we call our graduate career placement, as well as our professional development and leadership program. I'll put that all under the umbrella of professional development. And so when you're looking at graduate schools, all graduate schools are going to have an importance on graduate career placement. It's very important, of course. I think that we do this in a way that's very unique and something that I'm very proud of. So as you can see, We have career placement officers for each program. So every single program has its own career placement officer, and this is an individual whose job is to get you a job. That is what they are hired to do. They're very good at it, and they work for you. They work to help you get a job wherever you want to get a job, whatever field that you want to get a job in. They help you succeed in that way. I think that they do a very good job. They're very dedicated to their students. They have great relationships with employers. They're very, very good at what they do. This is a small selection of some of the companies that we work with and some of the companies that we get our students hired at. So the next element of the graduate career placement, the professional development, is this program called Professional Development and Leadership. Now, this is a mandatory program every student at the School of Engineering participates in, and it helps our students prepare for success in the job market. And so what it is that you take these 10 courses, there are 10 sessions, really 10 workshops, and some of them are mandatory, like the resume building workshop, but then some of them you can pick out what course you want to take from a very long list. Here's that list, and really help you prepare for success in finding a job, keeping a job, and maybe getting your next job. It's really about that lifelong career success. So you'll want to learn, if you want to learn skills, if you want to learn Python, if you want to learn, data visualization, you can do that. If you want to, learn how to make small talk, that is a skill, and especially for someone who's where English might not be your first language, these kind of communication skills might be very important to you to learn how to communicate in an American business setting. And then there's also some fun courses like wine education or cheese education that really just kind of help make you a more well-rounded individual. And then we have, to add to the student life aspect, we have a really great community on campus of organizations that are here to support you outside of the classroom. We have groups, all different types of groups, as you can see here and here, that are really going to help you create a network and to help support you throughout your time on campus. And we love to do social activities. It's a little hard right now, but even right now, while we can't take a huge group to go to the US Open and see Serena Williams play, which was an amazing experience, we are still doing events, with 15 students, and they're in a tent outside on the student lawn. And everyone's getting tested regularly, but we are making sure that students can have that interaction in a way that is safe, but that provides them with that element, because we find it very important. We're probably not doing events like this anytime soon where everybody is very close together. But there's no masks in these pictures. I should probably find some pictures where students are wearing their masks. But these are old pictures, don't worry. But it is very important to us to have student life. So just give me 1 second. I'm just going to have a drink here to clear my throat. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about the application process. So we have a spring deadline. Most likely none of you are applying for spring, but we actually just pushed it to December. And then we have a fall deadline. PhD programs is December 15th. For MS programs, it varies based on program. The last deadline is generally February 15th. So what is required? So the GRE is optional for the 2021 year. It's something that we're very excited about for students. We felt like it would just be a little too difficult to enforce that every student take the GRE right now. So if you're unable to, you don't have to worry. If you did take it and you want to submit your scores, that's fine. The TOEFL, we do require an English language proficiency exam. It doesn't have to be TOEFL. Duolingo is a really great option that's a little bit more affordable. It's actually a lot more affordable. And so that's a really great option for you. And again, you can do that at home to stay safe. In addition to that, we'll need copies of your transcripts. You upload it with your application. We need 3 letters of recommendation. And we recommend that those be from faculty whose courses that you have taken and that you've done well in, of course. your resume or your CV, and your personal statement. So now I'm going to run through some tips for success. What are we looking for in our applicants, and how can you be a successful applicant? For one, so it's very important to us is that you are ethical. And this is really very, very important in the application process. When you're making your resume, don't embellish. Don't try to make things sound better than they were. Just give it to us honestly, because that's what's really important. And you'd be surprised how something that might seem small to you could actually be very important to the admissions committee. So don't do yourself a disservice by embellishing something or including something that might not be fully accurate. We also want to make sure our students have strong English skills. We want to make sure that you will succeed in the classroom and in the workforce. So on that, we like to see a strong academic record. And what that means is that you have performed well in relevant courses in a rigorous curriculum. I think that is some of what's very, very important. So how can you do that? My first tip to you is for you to engage, lead, and innovate. So really become a leader and really challenge yourself. So making sure, like I said, you're taking a rigorous curriculum of relevant courses. You're going to want to engage in research if you have the opportunity, or get an internship, again, if you have the opportunity to do so. Be a leader on campus. Network with professionals, when possible. Participate in competitions and projects. Really try to get as much experience in your field as you can. We really encourage you to work on your English proficiency. If you have the opportunity to speak to students, if you have students who are on your campus who may speak English, I definitely recommend that you talk to them. If not, speak with one another in English. Maybe challenge yourselves for a day or for a lunch to speak exclusively in English to one another. Watch American TV shows. The Big Bang Theory, I mentioned that earlier, is a good one. Watch the news. It's a little interesting right now, but if you could have an opportunity to watch English news, whether it be the BBC or MSNBC is another good one. If you have opportunities to do that, I definitely recommend it. Reading English publications. And reading English publications or watching the news will help you with words that you might not necessarily hear on TV shows. You might hear some language that is at a little bit of a higher level. And so I think that's a good experience for you. Excuse me. And so also, really work on your technical skills. If you're not already familiar with a computer programming language, I recommend that you pick one up. And if you already know one, go ahead and learn another. Refine your research and laboratory skills. Sharpen your statistics and your data skills. These are all also really recommend that you really develop your professionalism. Make sure that you carry yourself in a professional way. Speak with one another professionally. Speak with my team professionally. If you email somebody for help, make sure that you are presenting yourself in a very professional fashion. And so that wraps up my slides. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. If you scan this, you can just hold your phone to it. It will take you to our website with our brochures, which will give you some more information. So I will leave that up on the screen, of course. And I think that will help you. I would love to answer some questions right now. Are there any questions that I can help with, or anything I can tell you a little bit more about?
Well, thank you, Gabrielle. Yes, I do have a few questions to you. First of all, about the admission requirements, do you require any professional experience for, for the candidates?
Yeah, so we don't require professional experience. It's not a mandatory requirement by any means. However, if you have internship experience, it certainly will help.
Wonderful. And what about the financial aid? You know, our students very interested in any type of assistantship that you can offer.
Yeah.
Yes, if you can speak about the assistantship or probably the scholarships available for the international students would be great.
Okay, so a student who does a PhD program, if you're going into a PhD program, you will be fully funded. Your tuition, your fees, everything is fully covered. So for PhD students, you don't have to worry about that. Now for master students, because we focus our funding on the PhD students, we don't have funding for master students. However, a number of master students do get jobs on campus. They typically work for faculty members as teaching assistants, and it's a really nice way to get some income coming in while you are a student. And they also will work paid internships over the summer. So there is a really great opportunity for revenue, but there isn't necessarily funding and scholarships up front.
Okay, thank you. Wonderful. And what about the standardized test? If a student wants to apply, like PhD student wants to apply for the financial aid, or if the master's student for the master's level applies for the assistantship, do they need to submit the GRE scores? Because I know many universities make it optional if for the admission, but they do require it for the financial aid.
No, we are not requiring it for funding purposes. No.
Okay.
It is truly optional.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have any short-term or like summer programs for international students, like research or for internship, something like if I want to come and just do a research project with your school?
So at the graduate level, I'm not necessarily sure. If you are still an undergraduate student, there is possibility to come for a semester and do an undergraduate visiting student program.
All right. Well, I think those are all my questions I have. And it would be great to have your contact information in case
let me put that in the chat.
And we will share it too. All right, so we will be able to share it with I think in the comment section of our YouTube channel, and everyone, if you're interested to learn more about the learning engineering at Columbia University, just feel free to contact Education USA in Ukraine, and we will provide you all contact information for Gabrielle, and you can contact Gabrielle directly with your questions. Maybe you have a specific question about your the program that interests you. Thank you, Gabrielle, very much for the presentation, and thank you for your time. And stay safe and stay healthy.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Looking forward to seeing you next week, and have a nice evening.